Hmm. Hmm.
Hey everyone, Genome here, coming at you with the next couple games in my series where I break down some of the chess games that I've played and see if I can spot where I went wrong. So I'm going to include two games today. If you'll notice up there, somewhere there, you'll see that my opponent is actually Comics Pro John Beatty. So we played several games before this, but never a time game. Usually it's a 3-day format. So those days let you, or those kind of games really just let you sit back and extrapolate, and try to figure out what's best, especially for weaker players such as myself. Sometimes I need more time, but I like these faster games better, and they definitely lend themselves a little more to uh, dynamic games, and as you'll see, I have one pretty convincing one and one really devastating loss. So maybe the format's good or bad. I don't know. We haven't played enough games to see. So let's go ahead and get into it. In this first game, I am white and John is black. And I believe I start with the English. So let's take a look. Yep. So I start with the English opening. Okay, he's obviously gonna fianchetto a bishop. That's pretty strong to start with. It's kind of a dragon variation, I believe. Continuing on with my English opening. All right, so I've already got a little bit of an issue. It's a good refutation of the English, I'd say, in that if he wanted to give it the bishop, which I don't think he would, not when you have a strong dying like this, I could accidentally cause a doubling of my opponent's pawns right away. But I don't think he goes for that. Let's see. Okay, just developing. This does free up the power of his bishop. Okay, so I'm doing a preparatory move here, ready to meet his center, because I'm going to try to probably push d4 next. But this is kind of a preparatory move is why I made that one. There it goes. He's just developing. Depending on what he does from here, this could be a strong outpost for his knight eventually if my knight removes. Always remember that also unleashes his bishop, which is just poised and ready to strike over here. And I have some vulnerable pawns. If e4, something ever happens here, there's a lot going on here. And this knight could be a problem. Basically, this pawn is stuck here for a while, and I can't really develop the bishop over here like I'd like to contest. Excuse me, sorry, I've been talking a lot today. Okay, so just development, get the bishop back here. I'm kind of wanting to keep this outpost away from his knight. I think that was the key to this move right here. And yes, it is guarded with a knight, but just in case he pushes a pawn or something to do that. I also had some possible thoughts probably of dropping this back to b1, and that makes pretty strong diagonal coverage by the bishop pair. Okay, it's saying to already go after this knight, but it looks like he is not liking my bishop. So if I want to keep it, I need to retreat it, but I don't believe that I do. I think I leave it there. Okay, shoring up some things. Basically, I'm trying to get this bishop over here so I can defend this diagonal, contest his, but I probably should have moved the bishop back. What's it wanting me to do? Oh, it's a missed win, huh? Queen. Oh, yep, I missed a piece. Look at that. Don't you love it when you get so hemmed up in your plan that you don't notice the obvious stuff in front of you? So basically, if I just left my pawn alone, checked him with my queen, I could have picked up a free knight, and that was basically the game. But I blew it right away, and I am punished for it. Okay, he takes, and there's my strong bishop gone out of the center. But it's the early game, so it's not a huge deal. Knight's a little more valuable, I'd say, in the earliest game parts of the game. Okay, just doubling up. Okay, I finally get to contest that bishop. See, this bishop had all my eyes were upon it for some reason. I'm not sure why I was focusing so hard on that bishop missing a piece like that. That just irks me. When he moved to d6, that is always an invite for checks like that with the queen. So you can be careful about moving minor pieces down because of that check and easy free pickup. But yeah, it's wanting me to castle here, which I can't remember if I do in this game or not. I think I leered away from castling at this point because there's an awful lot of pieces over on this side of the board getting ready to bear down on the king side. So let's see. Okay, just fighting for the center. It's wanting me to take. I'm just trying to keep things short up. Probably playing too defensively, though. Pretty good outpost for his knight right there, actually. It's going to be really hard to dislodge it unless I just trade, which I probably do. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so basically putting it to his queen now. Or his bishop, to be more specific. Okay, so he defends and repositions, and basically attacks all at one time. Okay, just putting a question to his knight. What do you want to do? You want to stay there? Do you want to retreat? He does not want to retreat, so takes my knight down there. Yes, there it is. So just standard recovery move there. Okay, so I just gave away a piece. Well, I didn't really give away a piece, but you'll see. Okay, development move, standard. Now he can free up and castle either side. Now that the pressure's gone, I figured I'd go ahead and castle. He castles queen side, so that's always an active game, and checkmating options avail. I do have the center kind of shored up pretty well. And he's kind of backwards developed here, but I'm pretty sure it serves him okay. So what am I going for this one? Going for this pawn, basically, to see if he covers it or not. He does not. Do I just take it? I do. It's wanting to move my king out now. And I'm not sure why. But I don't feel like reading through it all for you guys, so. Okay, so I think I throw a check in here first, and that's a kind of a mistake, but I was picking up a pawn. It's kind of an in-between move. Let's see. Yeah, I do. With check. So basically, at this moment, I think he is about to trap my knight. So I got to move my rook. My rook is hanging here. Not hanging, but it'll be a bad exchange for me. So I move. Yep. Okay, so now that's a blunder, huh? Rook takes... Oh, rook. Okay, he wants you to line up the rook on the open files here. Makes sense. He's putting a lot of pressure on my knight, though, and if you think about it, my knight is actually trapped. There's nothing I can do with it. There's no other pieces I can even take for it. So he could kind of take this at his leisure. I have no safe escape squares. Even here is covered by the rook, and I have no defender there. So, yeah, not good for the knight. So, okay, basically, once another in-between move, it's like just putting it to his bishop. Do you want to stay there or move elsewhere? So he just goes in. It's an excellent square for his bishop. I might try to harass it with a rook here, but we'll see. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is bait him into taking here, and then I go for a fork with the knight. Not only saving the knight, but also picking up a rook, at least to exchange. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't go for it. What else was there? There's something else going on here too. I can't exactly remember. Let's go on here. I had two ideas with that one, and I think both of them were not good. Let's see. Now I could take en passant here. That isn't really doing things. I don't want to open up any more files for his rooks right now. Even though I would have domination of that file on the C file, but. So what do I do here? This does, I took that because I got a rook behind there, so I'm thinking I can infiltrate with the rook. Okay, so now he is defending, and he's moving his bishop out of danger, so it's good play. This is really strong here when you have the bishop and pawn supporting each other like this. It's near impenetrable. And once again, my knight is still trapped. There's no rush to take it because he can take it whenever he wants. I like how he has a lot of patience there and just waits. Okay, so just pushing. Gonna keep trying to push this pawn to victory. I got a rook R behind it, maybe, or at least get down his way and support it. The key is to get off the light squares when he has light square bishop, but he also has a dark square bishop. So he's got the bishop pair. So, and I'm effectively down a knight. So I'm still in a lot of trouble here. Okay, so basically this picks up just basically a tempo because it's going to force me to move my rook here. I probably should go to the second rank with it, but let's see. Yeah, I do. It was the best move. How good. Good to know. Okay, so he's still fine. He still has this real strong piece back here. Whenever he decides to take my knight, he can also remove this pawn from contention. And this rook is really locked in here. There's nothing he can really do at this point. There's no easy way to free him up. Maybe bring him back over here, but there's not even an open file yet, so that I can access. So that's a blunder, is it? So e4 was best. Okay, it wanted me to push e4. Okay, I'll take its word for it, but okay, so he's picked himself up a free pawn. And my rook is under danger. Basically, what happened back there is I was going to lose a rook either way. I'm not sure if I chose the right one or not. But basically, he forked me here with that move. So yeah, it was a horrible mistake on my part before. So yep, there it is. This is where the game really gets out of control. Okay, so not only did he pick it up, the same exchange, it's just a free piece because he can still retreat. And I still can't move this knight out of harm's way. So I think at this point I start trying to just go for it to hope, he would maybe panic and something could happen, but that does not happen. So, yep, just basically a free pawn for him. I'm making an escape route for my king there for the check that was coming. Now the only thing I can hope is to maybe do like a pawn storm on this side of the board, supported by my king, try to get my king out ahead of these guys, and to see if something can be had. Very dubious though, especially down this much material. My pawn's already +7, so okay, there's the check. So basically I have no choice but to get the pawn now in front of the king. Now the next maybe idea is to move the king toward a centralized area here. Probably try to get closer to its edge so you can't get checked with the rook. But really I'm in an awful spot. Okay, so it looks like he's getting ready to pick up the knight finally. There's nothing I can do about it. I guess I could take a pawn there. But actually, it's another of those in-between moves. So basically, put the pressure to his bishop and see what he does. He just takes. Okay, but see, the thing about it, it's going to be another free pawn there, and this pawn's going to fall too. I'm sure I defend it. Yeah. So, once again, getting things on the dark squares at this point, since I took care of his dark square bishop, is the best chance I have, but he's going to have a huge mating net here in a second. These rooks are going to run wild on me. There's always the danger, too, of once I advance the king a little further, that he can start actually putting rooks behind me. And that'll pick up pieces, because all these pieces are lined up together. It's really dangerous to get a rook or a king on the same file as any other piece when you have a rook running wild like this. So, okay, so I took, let's see. So he takes the pawn. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying much attention. It's cutting off some of the route for the king. I think he's just trying to lure my rook away so he can take this pawn. What was it saying? G4 is the best, yeah. There it goes. Rook to C2. I wanted me to drop back and cover that rank. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I figured I could just move the king up here, though. That's how I made room for him. And he's cleaning up all the rest of my pawns, and now I'm down so much material, it's not even funny. I did take another pawn here just to do something. I think there's some ideas of swinging back and getting this rook back in here so I can eat up some of these back row pawns and maybe hiding behind my pawns as long as possible. Maybe get one promoted. Okay, there we go. So basically this locks this, keeps him from moving his pawn forward, but it's not really that much of a problem. I think he just moves another one here to soften me up. I'm sure I take here. Want me to move back with it, but I don't see that's not going to do anything but just prolong the inevitable. So okay, now that was a good defensive move. He shored up any problems he's going to have here, and I can't really even get my king out from there, so I have to go around him the long way. I think this is to stop any checks in the future. I'll move my king down, and then I can block with the rook. Okay. Now, there's the block I was talking about. But he's still got a battery going on here, so it's going to be really difficult to do anything. Right here, we have to worry about losing the pawn with check. I think my idea here was to, if he did take with check, I'd advance up and grab this pawn as well, and then try to hide behind this guy. Okay, he's going to try to cut me off at the pass. I'm sure I bring up the king. Okay, there's a check. Take that and hide behind my own piece. This is really bad, though. I probably should be dropping my rook back here. I'm probably defend this pawn, though. Oh, no, I just swung it up. All right. Okay, I'm trying to get the king out in front. I'm going to lose a pawn here. Oh, no, I didn't. So I'm going to try to go back around, move these guys up, and then get behind or in between them. This is really strong, though. It cuts off all my... cutting off the king is very important in the game, so... Okay, here I'm making a space to try to hide, but it was a blunder. It says rook to g2 is best. So it wants me to get behind the pawns, just for defense. Let's see, that's when I hung. This is why it's always so dangerous to put stuff in the same file, like I was saying, with a rook and a king. So I just lost a rook here too, so this is so over, it's not even funny. So could try pushing for a queen here. I don't think I even get time for it. I think I just try to do, I think I promote here just as he'll take.
Abort! Abort!
Yeah, he does. He still has plenty of material to checkmate. If you look at where he was, he actually had me cut off from this entire side of the board. He could just push his pawn to promotion right then. Probably just gonna take my other pawn, yeah. Okay. And I'm just trying to, what I'm trying to do now is kind of figure out a stalemate and hope something gets messed up. And so he took a little bit of time here, if you look at the times up in this area. And checkmate. So yeah, that's a Comics Pro checkmating the crap out of me.
And he is most displeased with your apparent lack of progress.
But you know, it happens. What's funny too is remember my king started down here. I wonder how many king moves I made that game. A lot. So yeah, that one didn't go so hot for me. I got shellacked. I gave away that early rook, and that was the beginning of the end, really. So there's game one. Let's see here. We'll do a quick game two as well. I think it was this one. I think I placed black in this game. Sorry about the ads here. Alright, let's let it do its thing real fast. Move this. Okay. Let's get started, shall we? Whoops. It's set on automatic. Please excuse me. Okay, once again, looks like it's going to be a quick fianchetto. It's weird that my screen's getting cut off now, but oh well, you know who I am. I'm still playing against John Beatty. Alright, so going to do kind of Sicilian thing here going on. Once again, I have to be very mindful of this rook right here, because if this pawn gets moved or undefended, I'm going to lose a rook. So that basically locks in this bishop for foreseeable future. Okay, contesting the center, freeing up defending at the same time. So freeing up this bishop, could be moving over to e7 or d6. Okay, just development move. There's a little outpost here for a knight. It's not a bad spot. With this knight move, or he moved his knight over here, basically freed up a chance for me to fianchetto my own bishop and protect this rook. And contest this diagonal here, so that's why I moved the pawn. Once again, probably just focusing too much on that, but... Okay, capturing back towards the center is a general principle. I'm sure I'll be fianchetting my bishop soon. Nope, okay, so I moved my rook ahead of time. There's a undefended pawn right here, so that's probably what I'm thinking about. Not only that, it gets it off this diagonal with the bishop, and so I don't technically have to fianchetto it. Okay, he's infiltrating with his knight pretty good. Or pretty well, should I say. Okay, I do fianchetto the bishop. Knight's coming in. There is technically a pawn to grab here, but it's defended as many times as it's attacked, so it's nothing really to worry about just right now. Okay, let's put it to that knight to see what he wants to do. Moving the queen down. I think this was an error, because if I recall, it lets me get an attack in on the queen, pick up his good bishop, and you'll see. I think there's like a mini windmill here. Okay, yeah, there's the attack with the knight to my knight on his queen. My knight is defended. There's nothing really for him to do down here. Sorry, my voice is really hoarse. I had like a 3-hour conversation earlier today. So let's see. So what's going to happen here is I want this strong bishop gone. And if he doesn't take, well, you'll see. There's a plan here. So I'm sure I take now with the bishop. Yep. Okay, now if he takes with the king, there was another move. Oh, okay, I tell you what my idea was. I'm sorry, I forgot. So if he had gone backwards with his queen, I would have had a free knight. Basically, just by grabbing his bishop and then just taking with the rook, but he saw that. But I went ahead and took anyway. And he moved his knight in. I'm not sure what that one was about.
It's a trap!
Can't say, but it looked like a free piece. Okay, he's going for a check here, but I can block with a knight. Yep. Either one probably would have worked. This one's a little more infiltrate or advanced, so I just left it out there. It's also defended well. Okay, so he takes. Okay, just take with the pawn. So I'm still up quite a bit of material right now. Okay, technically speaking, I'm not sure what that is either. I don't know if he's trying to trap my bishop. There's no need to trap it because it's already, he could just taken it. So I'm sure here I just take the rook. I technically could have saved it and just dropped it back. It actually might have been a stronger piece just to drop back rather than just giving it up like that. But I'm already had quite a bit of material, so I wasn't too sweating it. I think at this point I just want to trade down. Okay, king or king size castle because hey, king safety. Putting it to my knight, probably going to drop it over here. Yep, g4 it is. Bringing the king into the game a little better. Frees up this whole back rank for his rook. Also allowed him to bring his rook over to f1. Support his pawn. Okay, so I'm just gobbling up pieces here. That was a basically free bishop as well.
Are you kidding?
It will be a hanging pawn here for too much longer. If he's not careful. He has a hanging pawn here. So basically, it's kind of a bloodbath now. I guess we'll try to defend pieces rather than just trade down completely. Because I can still screw up somehow. I've been known to do it. Probably just move the knight over to d4 probably. Yeah, it's defended with the pawn here. Basically, the only weakness I have right now, I got an undefended pawn. I got a king on a somewhat bad diagonal. Because this pawn's undefended. Well, it's defended right now with the knight, but it could be undefended shortly. Okay, so defending a knight, freeing up basically this diagonal here, or this file, excuse me. Okay, gobbled a pawn. Now, if you're not careful, I could lose this bishop. It is hanging. So I defend it. Okay, check. There's the check I was talking about. So I get him to h8, which is a nice safe square. Not much is going to dislodge me. He does have a lot of pawns on the side, but I should be able to hold this. Okay, that knight is defended, so I just take. Yep, get rid of that nasty pawn there. There is check to be had. Yep. Okay, so this knight is defended. There's nothing really to worry about here. Now I'm infiltrating the queen to the back. He can't really advance this way. Not only is this illegal and all that, but you have this cutting off the king to escape eventually, and so is the knight. So he has to go back. Let's see. can't exactly remember if I go for another check here. I do. And then he just takes with the queen. I take back. That was probably pretty clumsy of me, actually. I think I was just trying to trade down at this point because I had so much material advantage. Just makes it faster and less complicated. Things to worry about. You can get in trouble with the loose queen. Oh, gave away a bishop there, but once again, doesn't matter too much. So there is... I could have checked first. Let's see. Just gobbling pawns. I should be probably working on my mating net a little bit more here. See if he gobbles that pawn. Yeah, he does. Alright, so I do have to be a tiny bit careful here. I don't have an escape square for my king, so I'm probably going to move this over here pretty shortly to G8, I think. What did I just give away down there? Oh, no, just gave away nothing. I just checked, and then... Okay, this kind of cuts off him pushing his pawn much further. I had some notions. I mean, you gotta be really careful here. Some notions of like pushing the pawn, but there's no rush at all. So take that pawn. Okay, there's that king move I was talking about. So basically, this takes away the back rank issues and helps protect this this rook here. Okay, now I'm just ready to trade rooks. Don't take with the pawn. You have two guys isolated on one side. Probably too easy to block. Okay, that's his only chance to win, just to push the pawn, but there's that defense. So he can't really push it. This knight is defended still. He has no real way to infiltrate with his king unless he comes around this way. And he has to do that the really long way because of where the knight is. So he can't just cut down to d6. He's just got to go over. It's going to take him a while to get over there. And in this case, now I'm basically pushing to allow my king some space to get over here and really attack this pawn. There's no rush to push these up the board. There's the king push. Okay, everything's defended right now. Probably going to infiltrate with my king over to f6, I'm sure. Yep. All right, that pawn's going to fall. And now it's, as they say, is that. So now it's just supporting the pawns as they run up the board. It's easier to checkmate that way. I should be freeing this rook up here so I can cut him off from one side of the board. Which looks like what I'm doing here. I'm probably going to move the knight over. Yep. Okay, so basically that's basically a clearance move. This basically cuts off the king completely from this side of the board, which means there's absolutely zero way to stop promotion and stalemate. Don't need two queens, just one. It's definitely good enough. I probably don't do this in an efficient way, but basically I'm just going to walk him down. That's the best way to do this, is to try to pressure him and doing something weird. But the good thing about rooks and all that is you can just move way to the other side. Way out of harm's way. Just getting a little bit closer. That's what I'm doing here, is just making it so there's absolutely no way he can go up and pester anything. So now it's just going to be 2-move checkmate. So, and there it is. So somewhat redeemed myself in that game. I was a beneficiary of a hung piece or two in that game as well. So basically what I did in the first game happened in the second game to him, so turn out fair and play, I guess. But I don't know, it was a couple of fun games. Look at the time, he had 43 seconds left on the clock. I had a minute 17, so I think I only had like 23 seconds in the last game, and I think he had like 2 minutes. So the timer is something. I mean, it just keeps rolling. There's no incremental. It might give increments at the beginning, but basically it's real time. So there's no time to be sitting there fooling around and formulating too much. So it looks funny. Some of these moves look really funny, but the time crunch starts happening, and people panic a little bit. And especially, we don't do this for a living or nothing, so it's just something fun for us. So I'm sure we can comport ourselves much better if we put more brackets into it. But so those are the two games. So that's professional comic books pro John Beatty. Playing me some online live chess 10-minute games. So hope you enjoyed. There'll be more of these in the near future. And until next time, this is Genome, wishing that first game never happened. Out.